Okay, so here's AwardSpace, which is what I use to host my site. It's free. There are paid subscriptions, but I use the free one. Uh, Here we go to the file manager. We'll see. Slowly load up. Okay, here are the two sample web pages I made. One with my dog on it, one with my best friend's dog on it. Um, Here, if you wanted to, this is just going to be really hideous, so excuse this. This is just like what a mother page would be if you wanted to nestle these within, or something if you wanted perhaps just to keep track of the pages just a little bit easier. And this is simply something that no one else is going to see except for you or the person who's editing it. And these would just link to the actual sites to make them all in one place so you could edit them easier than it would be if they're just, 100 websites you got to keep track of. I thought it'd just simply be something better for the client. Let me go back to that. As you can see, it's all pretty much the same. You just change the images, change the data that people are going to read. Everything else just stays the same. Even if they had to go in and edit the HTML, it wouldn't be that hard. I wouldn't trust, someone without at least a little computer experience to do it, but it would be easily explainable. Let's look at the code for this. Okay, so here's the code, just some basic stuff. I left space for the Facebook and Twitter integration and such if Helping Hands ever wants to do that. I didn't really know how to make that effective because obviously each individual animal is not going to have a page. So just go back to like the Helping Hands stuff, and I didn't know if that was even something I wanted to do. So I just kind of skipped over that. And these are where they would edit. I've got little notes, not that they're easily, able to be seen, but here's just where their stats. Here's a little description of the animal. The images, of course, are in the image folder. So it's just basically a repetitive code all the way down to the end. It's just a little bit of animation. They're not just regular photos. I thought it gave it a little bit more, so to say. Like I said, the only issue I really ran into was that AwardSpace does not let me ref out. They super annoying. I don't know why they would have that. I guess I assume for some security reasons that I'm not aware of. But so when you click on one of the photos, instead of going here where I wanted it to go to just the same image from their server, I had to change this to something else. It wouldn't let me rep out. And when I put something else there besides just a blank HTML page or HTML page that truly doesn't exist, so I didn't upload it to this server, it messed up the design. I don't know why. I'm not the greatest web developer in the world, so I couldn't tell you what I did wrong. But that's pretty much it. There's nothing, like I said, nothing groundbreaking in it. Now again, I did just use just regular. I did not use a platform like Wix or Weebly or WordPress. I will say that I did visit those sites and they have beautiful, wonderfully integrated themes, and I could see why people would definitely want to use them. They make it super simple to create a website, and definitely if this were something that Helping Hands or another rescue organization were going to use, I would definitely suggest I would make changes so that it could easily fit into those servers, those those site. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. What I was going to say is that this is a very simple solution and it's basically free. All you have to do is hire someone for maybe a total of 60 man hours, and within that you could have these sites up and running. The only issue would be training staff to do it, deciding what platform you want to go with. If you want to go with something like WordPress, which would be my suggestion simply for the fact that those add-ons are just so well designed and they're so effective. That would be the only real question. This Helping Hands Humane Society obviously is not a profit organization. It's uh, it doesn't have money to spend to make beautiful websites with all these wonderful, and it doesn't really need them. People are there for, a reason. Adopt an animal. That's all they're trying to do. Now, while I've used Helping Hands as my example for this one, this could really transfer into any. The design of the actual site could actually be used for any kind of thing where you don't really need to talk a lot. Like I said, you have a little about me, but you don't have to put that much in there. I mean, I've also included here a link to the application that you can print out if you needed to print it out. Now, this is meant to be used at the actual facility, so I would hope that you would just walk up to someone and ask them, but you never know. This could be used, this design could be used for 100 other things. Profile websites, I'm not saying it would be the most effective gallery for your photography, but it could be used for things where you just need a quick flash of what something is. You just need to get to know a quick second of it. It's obviously not extensive, so it's really kind of a simple thing. Like I said, that's what makes it so easy to manage, and I think will make it effective for its purpose. And that is it. Now let's talk about issues and budget and things I ran into. Okay, so this is my like little breakdown of the cost and goals of my site. It's not very extensive. I've only got a few things on there, basically just to have something written so that you can look at it and understand. I've already explained the tools I used. I used Notepad just to write the code. I didn't really have any outside costs that involved anything but me developing the site. So the goal was to create a profile page for animals housed at Helping Hands, which you already know from the previous video, that is more appealing to the customer. Some specifications I want to try to stick to as closely as I could was to make it easily editable by the client, attractive, more attractive than just say a couple of pictures listed on a page, which I felt like I at least pseudo accomplished. To keep it really simple, not a lot of things to click, not a lot of things to do, just basically a page to view some photos of a dog you may want to adopt or an animal you may want to adopt. I want it to require only basic technology to interact with it, which I believe Q&R codes are pretty much basic to everything. I want it to be compatible with most browsers, which it is, and to be not proprietary. By that I mean, I couldn't really think of any other way to say it. By that I meant that I didn't want it to rely on WordPress or something else that has host-specific requirements for the code, so that way it'd be easily transferable if you wanted to take it somewhere and do whatever you wanted to do with it. Some issues I did come up with is time management. I work 60 hours a week and take full schedules and raise a daughter, so I definitely could have put more time into this project if I had it to put. I'm disappointed that I didn't research the host. I just went with one that I had used before but never run into the issue that I ran into with the pictures not being able to be external. I've never, I guess, dealt with a host who wouldn't allow you to pull an image straight from their server to use as like a clickable image. So it was kind of disappointing to me. I really wanted those photos to go somewhere when you clicked on them, but again, my fault. I should have put more time into researching what host I needed. And I was apprehensive as to some design elements simply because I'm not as familiar with design as I could be and probably should be. I wanted something that looked nice, and I was afraid that if I put too much in it, that I would overdo it. So I just didn't know where to stop. So I tried to keep it super simple, perhaps too simple, I'm not sure. So those were some relevant issues for me. The last thing I want to talk about is cost. It was very important to me to keep this as close to free as I could because, as you know, Helping Hands is not a profit organization. I wanted the only real cost is the time to develop the sites, get them up, and the time to train and plan with staff and administration. The only other cost would be if the site were hosted for a fee, but Helping Hands uses WordPress, so it shouldn't be an issue. So this concludes my presentation. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you very much.